Hello and welcome to Sin and Steel. I'm your host, Sarah-Tonin, and today we're joined by Jake Robbo of Bleeders Lament from Queensland. Thanks for joining me, Jake.
Hey, thanks for having me on the show.
So before we talk about your death metal project, Bleeders Lament, I wanted to touch on your other project. So you're very passionate about heavy metal, and you actually also have your own YouTube channel where you like to promote and react to new music. What would you like to tell us about that one?
Funny because I haven't really done that much on my reaction page. So I used to be called Robbo Reacts, and then I renamed it all to Robbo Riffs. I started out really just doing more reactions to stuff that I really liked,
Yeah.
and then kind of more now I've gotten into more the actual making music myself. Because I used to be a musician years and years ago, not death metal, and then I kind of had a bit of a period where I got away from it, and then I kind of got back into creating it with obviously Bleeders Lament and everything. So I more so nowadays just like kind of doing like reviews, and I always kind of
Yeah.
try to do like a few albums a week or a month highlights for people to check out, because I know people are obviously time poor and there's so much new music coming out, which is
Yeah.
on the one hand it's awesome, but I guess on the other hand also it's easy to miss stuff. So I try
Yeah.
not to do that. But I will maybe potentially get around to doing some, reactions of stuff that I really love and whatnot. But it's more so probably more about start doing some more like playthroughs and that kind of stuff on there. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So I guess how have you found that process so far, and what have you enjoyed about doing the different types of videos that you have been doing?
A lot of the bigger ones that people talk about, they always cover more mainstream metal kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Like you don't really see. So I kind of the one most of the stuff that I've reacted to is usually kind of more lesser known underground bands. Like have you ever heard of Endarken?
I have.
Yeah. So I've become good friends with a couple of guys in the band. They just sent me over a shirt from Denmark. From Denmark.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was their what was it called? Oh no, Plague of Truth album, which was I think 21 or 22. Feels
I
like
don't
ages
remember.
ago now. But I love that album and I like the artwork. So I got one of their shirts from them. But
Awesome.
that originally I connected with them through a reaction to I think I just came across the video on YouTube and I was like, never heard of these guys. I fucking love this. And then
Yeah.
I kind of went from there. But yeah, they're like kind of stuff like that. They're I guess death thrash, melodic death thrash, and a
Yep.
couple of influences. But yeah, I like covering more the stuff that not everyone kind of knows. Yeah, I think there's a lot of awesome. You hear people going, "Oh, metal's dead, metal's dead." It's like, no, it's not. Just branch
Never.
out of your stuff that you've been listening to for 30 years.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. The ones who think that are the ones who just aren't paying any attention.
Yeah, they're the ones not going to shows, not buying
Yep.
merch, not buying albums. It's like,
It's never
yeah,
been dead. It never will be.
yeah, 100%.
It's really cool because that's one thing I've found through doing my YouTube stuff as well, or my YouTube, my podcast, all that sort of stuff, is when you put in that effort, you're finding a lot of bands you might not have otherwise heard of. So the just the vast amount of heavy metal that you can get involved in, and the way that the community comes together is really cool. Like getting in touch and meeting some of these people and some
Yeah.
of the bands, and making connections that you might not have otherwise can be really cool.
100%. Do you know Blazonstone?
Nah, name sounds familiar, but I'm not sure.
Cedric Cedric Forsberg. It's kind of like that kind of heavy metal pirate theme. Like Running Wild, obviously.
Yep.
I think it's very much in that inspiration stuff. But I think I ended up doing a reaction to one of his a while ago now. But he ended up sending me a like the actual physical CD of the new album completely for free.
Awesome.
Yeah, so there's some really good people in the metal community. I think it's just like the bad stuff gets put out as headlines. It's like, okay, well, just hang on a minute. It's that's the minority. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely. Look, if you were to recommend one of your videos to people to go back and watch and check out to see what you're doing, what would you recommend? That could be like one that's most popular, one you had most fun with, one that you're just proud of, but what should they go and watch?
Good question. Don't think I've ever thought about this. I don't know. I reckon. So I think I usually do a top 20 albums of the year list video at the end of the year, and I really nerd out about them. Like they're like 40 minutes to an hour long
Yep.
videos. So if you're someone who likes to really dig into the top 20 and some, and same with that. I find a lot of stuff on my list is, it depends, like, the mainstream list, all those music journalists put their lists out, and it's like, I might have like one of those on my list, you know what I mean? So I think
Yeah.
if you're someone that likes to really check out hidden gems and stuff for the last few years, definitely go check out those videos.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, I don't know, whatever band takes your fancy.
Awesome. And so we can expect more guitar playthrough type videos coming from you as well on that, can we?
Yeah, I'm hoping just to do just little, even if it's just little fun things on like, social and Instagram, just like
Yeah.
covers of stuff, even like turning non-metal songs into metal songs. Just depends on the time I have, really. But I kind of
Yeah.
want to do a bit more of not just reactions, a bit of other stuff. Yeah,
Yep. No,
that's the
that's
plan anyway.
awesome. That's really cool. Look, we are here, of course, to talk about your death metal project, but I did want to make sure we touched on all that because I think that stuff's really important and it's the sort of thing that really helps build our communities. And like I said, get the word out there of some of those more underground bands or those
Yeah,
hidden gems. So I think it's really important to make sure that we promote that part as well. So you released your debut album, Populace Artifice, in November last year, and you've done a killer job. So this is a debut for Bleeders Lament, but you mentioned that you have already been a musician previously, you've done music before. I'd be really curious about that because I mean, knowing that this was a debut album, I just was surprised with the quality of this. Like it's really good. It's really well
thank you.
done. And I wouldn't normally expect that of a like debut in that space. So I guess I'd love to know a little bit of background behind that.
Yeah, so I've been what are we, 2025? I almost said 2026. It feels like that. It's like we're only 3 months into the year, but it's gone so quick. I've been a musician, probably guitarist, probably more like 12 to 14. So I think I started in primary school, like
Mhm.
grade 4, 5, or 6, something
Yeah,
around there,
okay.
that age. Just there, the primary school, whatever music program they offer, and with the guitar teacher, and
I didn't go to a fancy enough school for that.
really,
Yeah, yeah.
where'd you go to school?
Primary school was a little public
Yeah.
school that just
Oh, I went to a,
we never
I
had
went to
anything like that.
a, I went to a Catholic school,
Yep,
which is
okay.
funny,
Getting the
which is,
fancy stuff. But I
yeah.
love that that's branched out into Catholic school, but they have the programs for music, but you've taken that to get into heavy metal, which I like.
Yeah, so it's a very, from that to where I am now is a
Yeah.
big jump, and we'll talk to that. So yeah, I did a couple of years until primary school finished. The guitar teacher there was very very old school, and she was an older lady herself, but she would always do very basic, like, oh, what's that rhyme, that Aussie, like the farmers, like, oh, what's it called, like E-I-E-I-O kind of shit,
Old
like
MacDonald.
really, yeah, oh yeah, literally, like stuff like that is like
Yep.
what she would do. And so I outgrew essentially what she was teaching, and I've gone, this is crap. So I felt I picked it up not super fast, but I learned very quickly.
Yep.
So she was no longer really sufficient for kind of where I needed to go. So I think I went outside and I found an external guitar teacher. And it's funny, I'm still friends with him to this day. And it's funny, he now works in the health fitness industry as well, like me.
Yep.
But yeah, I stuck with him, and he was more kind of heavy metal. Like I remember some stuff he started teaching, like one of those Escape the Fate. Is it Escape the Fate songs? I can't remember what it's called, but I just remember that is one of the ones first kind of stuff we started learning.
Yep.
So I think I was with him for maybe a year or two, and then the rest is pretty much self-taught guitar, and bass. So guitar's my primary instrument, and then end of high school, probably ages like 17 to 20, 21, probably, maybe, probably that 17 to 20 age. I was gigging, so I had a duo, and I had a friend, she sang, and I played guitar, but it was more so like, it was all acoustic stuff,
Yep.
like mainstream, kind of playing it like at pubs, restaurants, cafes,
Yep.
weddings, that kind of thing. And then we had a bit of a falling out. I won't go into full details, but it got a little ugly in the end, and
Yeah.
we broke up. And then that kind of put a big sour taste in my mouth and in my mind regards to music for a few years. And I think I almost went like a whole year without even picking up a guitar.
Yeah.
Like it
Okay.
really affected me. I kind of just had enough of that whole environment. And then, a few years go by, I start picking it up and playing a bit more. And I've always played, probably since like late high school, heavy metal as well. Like played, Metallica, Iron Maiden. That's kind of how I got into metal. And then obviously doing all the acoustic stuff, more John
Yeah.
Butler trio as well, finger style as well. So I can play pretty much kind of everything. And then maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, I kind of started playing with the idea of kind of forming my own death metal band because it's mostly kind of like style of death metal, that kind of thrashy death metal, groovy,
Yeah.
fast kind of stuff. And I kind of felt like there wasn't enough of that kind of stuff, or not a lot of the style that I wanted to kind of listen to and have fun with. So that's kind of where Bleeders Lament came from. And so this is now like a passion project, getting back into it, and
Yeah.
it's great. I think I needed a bit of that time away from the music space.
And it's a
But
solo project too, isn't it?
yeah, technically, like
Yeah. You've got other people
yes,
involved, but like it's
yes and no. Yeah, so pretty much everything but drums is me essentially.
yeah.
And that's kind of, I think, how it will run going forward, whether or
Yep.
not it will stay kind of, I'm thinking of keeping it that way, mostly because, like, I've attempted putting metal bands together before, and it's very difficult finding people who share your same vision,
Yep.
beliefs. It's quite difficult, especially depending on where you live.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just difficult finding members that you can gel with and wanting to create. So I kind of, yeah, I find doing it all myself is easier. Well, outside of drums, obviously. But I think that way you also get to have opportunities and perspectives of other people coming in. So it's more
Yep.
like not necessarily session drums. So I've got Freddie Bolso of Blood Red Throne.
Yeah.
Amazing. Like I was so stoked to be able to like Blood Red Throne is my favorite death metal band of all time. Like I have
They're
Blood Red
incredible.
Throne, Blood Red Throne tattoo. And I'm friends with all of them pretty much on social medias and stuff. And so I've been friends with Freddie for a while, but I didn't think because he doesn't do features or stuff on other stuff. Like I've had a look and I
Yep.
can't find much. So I'm like really appreciative of him
Yep.
being able to lend his work to the album. And yeah, some of his drumming is like my favorite drumming I've ever heard from him. Like he
Yep.
absolutely killed it. And then Robin Stone, like those two, honestly, subjectively, I could probably say two of the best extreme metal drummers in the world.
Yep.
Like I don't know what your opinion is, but I think like they're very good drummers. They're amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty stoked to have them, and I think that's going to be the format going forward.
Yep.
Essentially, I'm wanting to work with those two guys at the end. They'll do the drums, and I'll do everything else. So
Awesome.
it's a solo project as per se, but it's also not.
Yeah.
It's not really. It's a band, but they're not permanent members as such.
Yeah.
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 I mean,
Yeah.
maybe one day we'll see.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
No, but look, it's come out great. What else would you like to tell us about the album? So its themes, the processes behind it, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so obviously the title of the album is kind of the overarching theme, Populace Artifice, Populace Population Artifice Deceit, kind of self-explanatory, but it's more so about that, that darker side of humanity and that kind of the dishonesty that's propagated, within the world and that kind of stuff. And a lot of the topics are based on real life events or
Yeah.
things that have occurred or are going on, like systemic and historical, like human rights abuse,
Yeah.
ignorance, malpractice, a bit of psychology, murder, religion, anti-religion, environmental issues, mental health, and that kind of thing. I recorded all pretty much everything in my home music studio, which is like it's decent, but not like it's not a high end. Some of these nuclear blast signed bands get
Yeah.
to record in. Like it's not a high end
I've heard
facility.
stuff recorded in proper studios that has come out with much worse production. Like it was, I thought it was really good. I thought it sounded
Yeah, so
really
that was
professional.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I really wanted to make sure that because that matters. I think production sometimes can either make or break certain albums. You know what I mean? Like, because if you can have really, really, really good ideas, but if it doesn't translate, if it sounds like it's recorded on a potato in 1960,
Yeah.
not many people want to hear it. Maybe
Unless it's black metal. Black metal's
a
allowed to
couple of
sound
black
like
metal
it's recorded
fans.
on a
Yeah,
potato.
yeah. And I've never been a big fan of black metal for that reason. But again, there's a niche crowd that likes that kind of stuff, and
Yeah.
that's totally fine. But I generally like things to translate somewhat decently well. But yeah, so the
Yeah.
mixing mastering was done by your Yukon. I don't know. Apologies to him if I pronounce that wrong. It's like one of those German J's with like a dot dot in at Sound Lodge Recording. So that's his recording studio. But he's worked with some really cool bands like God Dethroned. He did some of
Yeah.
their early stuff like Obscenity, Sinister, Suicidal Angels. So he's very old school guy and knows the kind of he's worked on a lot of records where I kind of that's the kind of sound I was going for. So that's why I went to him.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was really stoked with what he was able to do with what I could give him. So yeah. And what is interesting, I don't know if many people, if you look at the album cover, like the artwork, firstly, what did you think of the artwork? I think who did the artwork did a freaking amazing job.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I should have looked at this again before I jumped on.
It's
I'm
fine.
op
Just if you go Bleeders Lament Bandcamp, you'll be able to bring it straight
I'm
up.
opening it back up again. I remember thinking it was cool, but oh yes.
Like if you open it up in a big window,
Yeah, it's sick.
the cool thing is there are little nods, I guess what's the word to say, nods or little references
Yep.
to the songs and the song titles themselves on the actual album cover.
Yeah, okay.
So it's like, can you find them?
So what have we got? Congenital malformation. Is that the guy in general? Except he's kind of like the half face is like devilish.
He's kind of almost like so the funny thing is too, so I've actually already started planning second album. So like Eddie, Iron Maiden's Eddie, he's kind of gonna be a little bit of a mascot for Bleeders
Okay.
Lament. So he's kind of the overarching theme of the album, but also that kind of figure is gonna kind of be he'll be on each album somewhere.
I think
Is
that's really cool. I feel like the mascot thing it works really well, but it's something that just it doesn't get used much anymore. And
yeah, I
I
think it
think it's awesome
depends.
if it's done
Yeah, it's
well.
like yeah, exactly. If done well, like in Human Condition,
Yep.
yeah, like they have what do they call him? I can't remember.
I don't remember theirs.
I don't even know. He might even be based off Dan Goldsworthy, the artist,
Yep.
but he that figure is on each album, and they do that quite well. Like I think
Yep.
that's kind of sick. Yeah, so that's kind of similar-ish idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, with him.
No, that's awesome. Who was the artist that did your cover?
Aziz Black Story. So he's a graphic artist from Indonesia.
Yep. Yeah, no, he's done a
Yeah,
killer job and it really works for the music as well. I love it.
yeah,
So how has it been received since its release? What sort of feedback have you gotten? What sort of reviews have there been?
yeah. I've been really happy with all the feedback and stuff. Obviously being an independent release, you know what I mean, no label or anything.
Yeah.
Um, it's kind of I can only push it out so much myself, but a lot of people, in my circle and then their circle and that kind of thing, and even just like random groups on Facebook, and I don't know how people, Encyclopedia Metallum, however they find new releases and stuff because we're on there. So I feel like that's Metal Archives is a really good resource for finding the majority of releases that come out each week. That's generally what I use to find new releases. And again, not everything's going to be on there, but like a good 90% is. Yeah, feedback wise, really, really positive. Like, I think initially when it first came out, I was getting a lot of, I had like a random dude message me and it was just like, dude, this is amazing, like groovy, catchy death metal. Where the fuck have you been all my life? Kind of thing. Like, I got a couple of
Awesome.
messages similar to that. I got some, you might even know him, Levi, something metalhead or whatever. He does similar kind of stuff to you. Like he's a
Maybe.
collector, physical merch, but he also has a YouTube channel. He does reviews and everything. Anyway, I got a review from him on YouTube of the
Awesome.
album, and he even made some like Cannibal Corpse and like Carcass references in
Yeah.
the sound on the album, and I think that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. So what's next for Bleeders Lament? I know you mentioned before that you're working on some new music. So and what's happening with that? And are you planning on doing, any live shows and getting people together to do that?
Yeah, so that's the next kind of thing that I'm slowly working on is I do want to play some live gigs because there's like plenty of opportunities for live stuff, especially because Brisbane doesn't have that many death metal bands. Like you've got Pestilence, there's a few others my brain can't think of right now. There's a couple in a local scene, and then you've got
Yeah.
obviously like internet, like interstate, like Prick Crawler, really good, and then you've got like a Bremelam. How do you pronounce
A
that?
Bramelin?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and there's a few others, but like for Brisbane, Gold Coast kind of stuff, there's not really that many high profile death metal gigs. So when you get that kind of genre coming in play, there's like not really that much competition for support, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? In terms of that. So it's not like, and again, I don't, this is like my side project or business, you know what I mean? Like I work full time, so it's also about the passion for me. But I do want to
Yeah.
get out there and live. The main thing is obviously being a not a one man band, but the way I'm thinking of doing it is having the drums and bass kind of being like a backing track almost, and then doing guitars and vocals live.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's the way going forward. I think I'll have to end up doing it just because it's so difficult to get permanent drummers. Like I know friends in bands and everything and stuff, but they're not really death metal. You know, it's
Yeah.
more kind of stuff like progressive or metalcore or those kind of genres. Not really that kind of death metal stuff. I know some of the guys in Asylum, Asylum Thrash from Brisbane. But again, that's more thrash kind of thing. And
Yeah.
I think it's just the easiest way to go too, because it's less overheads. You know what I mean? Like if it's just me, I don't have to
Yeah.
worry about bringing kits. I can literally just rock up with whether an amp or a digital amp in, plug in, have backing tracks, give it to the sound engineer, pretty much good to go. You know what I mean? Like I think
Yeah.
that would be the easiest way around it. And same for like lugging equipment around. You know what I mean? Like I don't have a big van or anything.
Yeah. Keep it
Um,
simple.
I think that's what I want to do going forward. So yeah, definitely hoping to do some live gigs this year and even potentially maybe not this year but next year. Like a bit more of an extensive Aussie tour. Just depends if I get time off work and we get the.
Yeah.
So I'm going to very soon. I'm working on some background stuff. Just kind of maybe like one or two applying for to some record labels
Yeah.
to get
Cool.
signed. So yeah, I've been doing a couple of just things in the background and things take a while, as you know, sometimes in the music industry and waiting on third parties and whatnot. But I haven't applied for any record labels yet, but that's the plan going forward. In terms of future music, yeah, I've started writing the second album. So essentially, Populace Artifice was 9 songs, and I'm thinking on the second album to do 9 original songs and then one or two covers.
Cool.
So there'll be metal covers at this stage. I'm wanting to do an Annihilator cover because Coben Farr of Annihilator. He was the vocalist on Never Neverland record and
Yep.
probably my favorite thrash record of all time. And he passed away recently, and that really really got to me, that one. So I'm thinking of doing a song, Annihilator song from that record,
Yeah.
Death Metal on the next album as kind of a little bit of tribute.
Awesome.
So that'll be one of the covers, and then yeah, another 9 or 10 originals. I think I've currently got maybe 7 kind of either song titles or song idea concepts that I kind of want to talk about. I already have a working title. I already have a rough idea of the artwork and album cover. So the way I do it, it always kind of succinct. Same with Populace Artifice, is all around the central thing and the artwork fitted the theme. Going forward, similar kind of themes. It's
Yep.
generally, kind of what Bleeders Lament is going to be talking about. The things that people don't talk about enough in society and humanity. That's kind of the general theme stuff. I mean, you might reach out and stuff, but it's generally more of that kind of stuff. So that's where we're at. I'll continue working away on that, and then generally start with the music and the lyrics, and then see where we go. It just depends on time, work, money.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bleeders Lament's not going anywhere. So that's the current state of the band. Yeah.
No, that's fantastic. I think you've made a really good start with this album. Like I said, it blew my expectations. So I think you're only going to just keep excelling in that space, and really interested to see what comes of it. And I'm also really interested to see what comes of the live stuff when you start that up,
Mhm.
and how that kind of stage performance pans out, especially if it is, a one man type thing with the backing tracks and whatnot. I think it could work really well. So I'd be curious to see how it
Yeah, I've got to
goes.
do a lot of logistic stuff and just seeing how it works. And so
Yeah.
that'll take time of itself, but that's the plan. Yeah, so there's a few things to think about, a few things going on in the background, so I'm always busy.
So finally, where can people find you and how can they support your music?
So you can find Bleeders Lament on Bandcamp, Spotify, Apple Music, pretty much wherever you stream your music. And same on Facebook, Instagram, pretty much every social media, just at Bleeders Lament. And yeah, if you like the music, you want to check us out, play Bandcamp, buy the album, and hopefully we will be playing a show near you in the future.
Nice. And as always, I'll make sure that all the links are in the episode description to make it nice and easy for people to jump across and check out the pages. But thank you again for
Awesome.
joining me. It's been really nice chatting.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And thanks to everyone listening in for this episode. Make sure to like, subscribe, drop a comment letting us know what you think of Populace Artifice. And until next time, stay metal.